Hey everybody, this is Louise again. I just want to say that I don't know what happened last night, but I think around pretty close to midnight, I was laying in bed, and when I rolled over, I felt like there was like this huge whoosh of a wave that came through. It made me feel really disoriented and dizzy, and I don't know if there's anyone out there that knows anything about that could enlighten me. That would be awesome. Um, Still feeling the effects of it today. It just feels kind of different, like almost crazy. Like it reminds me of like when you hear like a gong or a singing bowl that somebody hits, and it just like woo. So today I wanted to talk about how um, I know there's a lot of people out there talking about these whole twin flame things and things like that. And I do believe that we all have a twin flame, or that we, like we are fortunate. Some people are fortunate to have a twin flame. Um, I think I've always believed that we have somebody out there that's designed perfectly for us in a way. Have I met mine? I don't know yet, because in order to meet the divine counterpart, you have to realize that you have to really get to a point in yourself that you have released everything and purged everything so that you can come together um, and ultimately love yourself. And that's, like something we always hear, those kind of sayings like you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And that is really true. Um, you know, um, it's also there's one that I really want people to understand is like you have to be able to do the work, and there's no shortcuts in doing the real work that's worth doing, so that you can become a better person and heal. Um, for me, it's taken a long time. I'm 38 years old, and it's taken a really, really long time to get to a point where I can start looking at the things in my life and the relationships and the cycles that I've had at an objective point of view, to realize that I always have an option on whether I want to stay where I'm at or if I want to elevate higher. Um, and I also know that what I've learned on my journey so far also is that if you want to check on where you're at in life, all you have to do is look at the people that you associate with and that are around you. Because everybody around me is a direct reflection mirror of what is inside me and what I think of myself and how I project myself to other people. So if I see somebody, for example, that maybe a behavior that they have or something really rubs me raw, or it gets on my under my skin, or it gets on my nerves, kind of thing, I have to look at that as something I really need to work on inside myself, so that I can stop reflecting that out, so that it stops coming towards me. But because I'm open enough to want to deal with my issues, they come up a lot quicker, and they come up in people more prominent. Um, it's the same thing for when I see somebody and I compliment something beautiful about them. That is a compliment also for myself, because I feel like that is beauty within inside myself. So um, it works both ways. So when you're always complimenting other people, realize you're complimenting something about that person that you can actually really see that's about yourself. And it's also the same thing about when somebody does something that really bothers you, or they act a certain way that bothers you, that is something about yourself that you really have to take a look at too, and do some work if you're willing to do it, and be like, okay, well, so I can be pretty egotistical, um, So how do I go ahead and do some work on not being that way, so I can be more heart-centered and heart-centered, other-centered, and God-centered. Um, and those are some things that I'm working on. I like to use an example. I'll write it down for you really quick, or I'll show it to you. Usually I use like a shell, because it is one of my spiritual symbols. The one that has the spiral. There's like and it looks like this. That right there. Now, to me, the very first book I ever had opened up and started talking about spirituality had this spiral on it. And what I want to talk about with this spiral is, and it's so true, it's so true for myself, it's so true for anybody, but is that whenever I am in like my addiction or really inside my head and my behaviors get out of whack or things get really hard, the choices I'm making are isolating me, they're causing me to be in mental, emotional, physical pain sometimes. I realize that I am going inwards into this and I'm completely isolating myself on the inside here. And I know that when I start releasing things and I stop holding grudges, I stop people pleasing, I stop doing negative behaviors that cause me to have emotional pain, and I start doing the work to be more God-centered and heart-centered, I start taking the journey to come back out again. And pretty soon, I get so big that I'm able to share my experiences and be an umbrella for people. And so that's all I'm trying to do with life now is get back to those basics. And, you know, our words have so much power to them. And, you know, when you hear you're the company you keep, that's one of those reflection things. So take a look around and start, you know, if you want to do some real inner spiritual work, this would be one of those opportunities to start seeing things from a different perspective and opening up. That symbol is also, I think a lot of people use that symbol for something else, but I just know that that's my spiritual sign symbol. And I believe in that symbol wholeheartedly, because life can either take you in or it can take you up. And if you want to look at this also in another way, that this symbol right here can either, you can go into a downward spiral or you can start ascending and going upwards. A lot of people do this symbol in different ways. You know, it's either clockwise or counterclockwise. I don't know what specifically the difference is, but I just know that for me, in life, if I don't want to be in the middle, where I'm so alone and isolated, then I need to do the work and follow the steps to be on the outwards so I can help other people. And that's what I love to do. I want to help people, and the only way I can help anyone is by doing the work myself, and being in that center. So today we're going to go ahead and get into our readings. Oh, and sometimes, you know, the best thing to ever do is just have fun. And if I could give a suggestion, sometimes you know, in order to stay here where it feels so good, and I can stay out of here so that I can start producing wonderful things in my life, I have to think about keeping it simple, which is an acronym, or KISS, K-I-S-S. It's a simple, you know, it's an acronym. So I like to do keep it simple, silly, you know, and that's how I tell myself. If I get down to the basics with life and I realize that today I woke up and I'm alive. It feels good. Because believe it or not, there's about 1 million people who die in 24 hours. And I woke up alive, and the people I know that I care about are all alive, and everybody's alive. We're doing good, you know? Every day is a new day to start off doing something different. So let's draw a rune for everybody. Ooh. Today we have this rune, which I believe is it's Suilo. The funny thing about runes that I'm teaching you is like one of the things that I realized after seeing them is like we have these symbols around us a lot in all different areas. You know, so there is power in these, you know. So Suilo means about wholeness and life force, and it's also the sun's energy. Suilo stands for wholeness, that which our nature requires. It embodies the impulse towards self-realization and indicates the path you must follow. Not from ulterior motives, but from the core of your individuality. Seeking after wholeness is a spiritual warrior's quest. And yet what you are striving to become in actuality is what by nature you already are. Become conscious of your essence and bring it into form. Express it in a creative way, and rune of great power, making life force available to you. Suilo marks a time for regeneration down to the cellular level. Although this rune has no reverse position, there is reason for caution. You may see fit to withdraw or even retreat in the face of a pressing situation, especially if events or people are demanding that you expend your energy now. Know that such a retreat is a retreat in strength, a voyage inward for centering for balance. Timely retreat is among skills of the spiritual warrior. And I am like I said, my name is Louise, and if you look it up in the books and definitions and meanings, it's actually for warrior. I do like to feel like I am a spiritual warrior, but also a healer at the same time. Suilo counsels opening yourself up and letting in the light into the part of your life that has been secret, shut away. To accomplish this may call for a profound recognition for admitting to yourself something that you have long denied. What I want to say is sometimes to be able to get into the flow of things, to have this happen, is you have to get back to doing something very creativity for yourself. I don't know why I'm getting this right now, but the power of imagination and the creativity of the joy that it gives to you for it is what will help you manifest anything in your life. It will create things of amazingness. Play and creativity. And do not take life so serious and laugh at yourself. I don't know, somebody out there. Anyways, let me go ahead and bless these. God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I ask that you come in and bring the spirit with you to bless these cards and to give a wonderful reading to someone out here. All right. So, I'm going to try to get my web page channel, or I have this YouTube channel, but then I also have a Facebook called Sunchild Louise, and I believe on there you can access me if you want to do a personal reading, and we can do it over the phone, and there should be a PayPal and a Venmo app that is on there that you can be able to purchase it. But my Facebook channel would be, or Facebook page is Sun Child Louise. Louise is spelled Louise. I do feel like I'm a child of the sun. You know, I just want to help people and share my experiences. Like I said, today felt really like ever since last night. I don't know what that whole, like if we shifted into a different vibration or what happened. You know, but it felt like somebody just took a gong and goes gong, and it just felt like, ah. Anyhow, let's see what we get today. Usually when I do these, I like to do like a past, present, and future, or just whatever story it wants to tell. And like I said, it's my perception on what I think the cards mean. That's all they are, is a tool for it. You know, a lot of people get really in depth. I just, like I said, I like to keep it simple and see what happens, okay? So if we were to do crowning your reading, we have a Four of Cups. And with the Four of Cups, it's like the kid, it's like somebody that's young and inexperienced in an area, with things going on with either their emotions or opportunities, and they're sitting here daydreaming, and they have 3 cups sitting by them. So they either drink, so to me it's either somebody who has a drinking problem, or they drank too much, or they indulged in things too much, but yet they're still wanting this other big cup up here, but they're not willing to do the work because they're being lazy and sitting here daydreaming about it, but instead of getting off their ass and doing something about it. God has always got this extra cup. And when I was talking about the divine twin flame thing, but you have to do the work on the inside before that you can receive this ultimate gift, that would be this right here in its finest for you, is that you have to realize what you do have already inside you emotionally that can help fulfill you before you can have something outside you to try to fulfill you. And if all you do is daydream about it, but you don't put the work to it and put the emotions there and feel it, how are you going to receive it? You know? The animals don't go running around worrying about all this shit. I can tell you that. Birds know that they can fly. And they just fly. Squirrels know that they, you know, do what they do because that's who they are. We have a little mousy mouse down here sniffing around. There could be somebody trying to steal your shit, steal your joy, you know, today. But if you want to fly with the eagles and you want to do all this stuff and you want to have this cup that emotionally fulfills you, you have to emotionally fulfill yourself with the things that you want to change about yourself and to look at. But that's what is at the beginning of your reading today. With this comes a lot of heartbreak, and that's what the Three of Swords is, and it's like a binding energy. I can tell you that you've either been stabbed several times in the heart that causes this emotional pain that you don't feel like you can do this, but yet you can, because through your emotional pain and hurt is where your greatest growth will be. And if you want to really look at this, I wanted to look at this like it's almost in the Trinity symbol, you know, the human, the spirit, and then the Godhead. God is calling you to go through the heartbreak that you are, or the emotional problems that you've had. And yes, it fucking hurts. It really hurts. It really hurts, and I know it does because I've been through it myself, you know. But if you notice, there's the sun shining on it, and if you noticed, our thing was about Suilo and shining on that fucking shit so that you can get it out, you know. It's gonna take a little time, but you know, the more light that you put on this subject to recognize that you're not broken, but the scars will make your heart a little bit tougher. But you're strong, you're still alive, you're still here. You have purpose to do with this emotional heartache. Because through this heartache, like I said, my growth doesn't come from sitting here on my ass being happy all day. It comes through pain. So that if things get painful enough for me, I'm going to want to change it. And that is so important because I want that cup up here, but I can't get that cup if I don't do what's in here first. You know, that's my heart. Through love is where we have our best connection with things. And shining that sun onto this shit helps get rid of it. You have the Five of Pentacles, and you know, for me, Five of Pentacles is of the material world, and this lady is holding a little child, and there's a man there, and it looks like, you know, the sun is shining in between them. You know, it looks like there's a rat up in the corner watching everything. And so if I was to say anything about this card, there's obviously somebody who knows really about the deception of what's been breaking your heart and causing all this bullshit. He's just not saying anything, or she's not saying anything. But you can see that obviously there's a separation between the three. There's a mother with a child and a person that wants to, you know, come in with some kind of an message, forgiveness. But you have something up here that's watching this whole thing. He's dark and he's hiding out in the corner. But yet, at the same time, he's not saying anything. Like, he's just watching what's going to happen. What are you going to do? How are you going to make this happen? But, you know, it looks like this person wants to say they're sorry for hurting you. But, you know, if you were to take the child, I would take the child and make that as your inner child and the person that's on the inside. And how many times do you have to have that little person hurt and not take care of, and hear the sorry with the flowers and stuff when you got the rat that's seen it? The illumination. You know, this is the present situation. You know, I could probably say the child is the most important thing in this card. There's two adults, one child, and there's light trying to shine on a subject of something that happened, and one person's trying to apologize to the other while the other one is holding on to the child. And do you accept the apology so that this doesn't happen anymore? Or do you just forgive them, work on yourself, get yourself better, treat that little inner child with all the love that you've given to other people so that you can feel better to get this big cup here, you know? I do see, you know, like I have the Page of Wands here, which means it's a young person, as some people say. It could be your inner self, it could be a young person, it could be a boy, it could be a female. But what he's doing is he's doing a balancing act. Holding the wand lightly with one hand, but he's just barely holding it, you know, and he's walking and he's trying to do a balance. So I think right here, this person is already at a point of wanting to come in with something as action to teach, but also, you know, that balancing of trying to, you know, do you go inwards more or do you go outwards more? Because I can tell you forgiveness and love, an attitude of gratitude builds the bridge. Taking this situation, turning it around and being like, thank you, so that I can learn how to grow, become a better person in life, and learn how to balance myself emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, so that I can look forward and look back on this as a growing spurt in my life. I'll get one more card for you on it. The Wheel of Fortune will come into play because of this. If you learn that this is just a moment in time, it's something to work on yourself, let the light in, go through the pain, realize that you can create healthier boundaries for yourself, that you can love yourself, that you are lovable. No matter what, you're lovable. We all just go through a lot of different kinds of pain, but it's just a fact, are you going to let that pain define who you are? You can give forgiveness without having to be back with the person. Eventually, somebody's going to come forth and tell you what happened, but you know what? You don't have to live in the past of this shit, because the light will be illuminated eventually. The truth does come out, and all you need to do is take care of you and the people that you love around you, and balance yourself in a way that is going to help you in this real world to be a better person, so that you can get this cup, because you already love yourself so much with the emotions that you have, so much that you can give to other people, and that you can give love, that this Wheel of Fortune is going to come into play, and it's going to take care of everything for you. And when I think of the Wheel of Fortune, it's got the sun. I'm seeing the sun on everything, the sun shining, kind of thing. But really, everything has its time. Everything has its season. And for me, if I was to think of the Wheel of Fortune, we have to go through different cycles, and it's in an upright position. So I believe that if you do the work and to help yourself to become emotionally stable, and to do the work to realize that you have to let the light in where the dark is, pray, meditate, do some self-love, do the reflection that I said of, if you want to gauge where you're at and what kind of work you got to do with yourself, always look around you and what's disturbing you, and look at all the things that don't disturb you and that are amazing in other people. And the more that you can stay in play and creativity to help you heal and create this balance, the more this is going to turn in your favor. And when I say in your favor, I mean, do you really want that person in your life? Like karma's going to bite them in the ass and I want the worst for them. Because does that make you any better of a person? No. What you do want to do is say, you know what? I'm working on me. The past is the past. I need to realize that with me, what my relationship is with me, I wish you only the best in life, because that is the most important thing, because I only want the best for me. Why wouldn't I want the best for you? But the best is not going to be with us together. And that is how I feel about this. I love you guys. Check me out. Give me a like or dislike to see if you like that reading today. Thank you very much. Bye.